The sense of reality that we all have individually, it intrigues me. It's safe to say that it intrigues me at another level, a whole different level. The thing is that while reality is conscious, when I say reality, I do not mean the ultimate truth. I do not mean to say that reality is things as they are. I mean my individual sense of reality of how things are. We all have our individual sense of reality, and it intrigues me so much because while the sense of reality that we have is conscious, the process of constructing that reality, the construction of that reality, I feel is mostly unconscious. I say this because whenever information enters our sense organs, for example, light enters our eyes, vibrations enter our ears, chemicals enter our body through our tongue in the form of taste, or air enters our nose. All of this information is converted into electrical impulse and our brain interprets it, and this is what we call an amalgamation of it. We call it conscious experience. The things that we experience in, like what you're experiencing right now in your immediate surrounding, you're conscious of that experience. So what we are receiving from the external world, we are conscious of that. Another thing that we are conscious of is what we feel about this conscious experience, or what we think about this conscious experience. I see something, I hear something, I smell something, I taste something, then I think something about that, or I feel something about that. Now there is a connection between these two factors: what's entering my body from the external environment, and as a result of that, what cognition or thoughts I am developing, or what emotions I am developing as a result of the thing that entered my body through the external environment. There's a process through which that information is being processed, and based on that process, there are certain parameters that are continuously deciding what I'll feel about it or what I'll think about it. This process, how our body or brain is processing this external information to cause what's happening afterwards, this process is what constructs the reality. And it is this particular process that we are not aware of consciously. It is mainly in the subconscious or the unconscious. The thing is that if our sense of reality, so to say, our thoughts and emotions are programmed, then where does the sovereignty of choice lie? What about the choice? If there is a set parameter in our genes, or set parameter in our social environment, if we are not conscious of how we are processing this information, then can we really control what we think or feel? And if we cannot control what we think or feel, or if we cannot decode why we are thinking what we are thinking, or why we are feeling what we are feeling, then can we control our actions at all? And if not, then is there anything called the individual choice? Because then choice would be reduced to a mere coincidence. So if there is something like an individual choice, how do we cultivate it, or where does it lie? this question is so important because the most popular political system of our times, that is democracy, is based on the premise of individual choice. Democracy is the belief that if you let the individual make choices, society will prosper, there will be social welfare. But then we come back to the question that Freud also asked, that is, can the individual choose at all? There are people like Edward Bernays, there is work of Bernays, and there are several media theories that prove that people can be controlled, people can be made to think certain things, people can be made to feel certain things, and eventually they can be manipulated into doing certain actions also. Someone someone somewhere who understands a strand of this unconscious processing that we do of the external information, that person is somehow becomes capable of feeding us information so that we do what that person wants us to do. So if this thing is particularly possible, where does individual choice lie? To understand this, I think we need to investigate more about what democracy means on what ideas or what hope democracy stands upon. Democracy stands upon the hope that if you give the right to choice to an individual, then that individual will start to make better choices. It's not that individuals always make good choices, it's not that individuals always make bad choices. It's simply we do not know what, if you give the right to choice to all individuals, where the society will go, we do not know actually. It's like a free fall. But what we do know is that we hope that individuals will learn to make better choices. But the question is that this does not happen on its own. It's not like magic, you know. Last time, while ending the podcast, I invoked Ambedkar about how we need to cultivate our mind. And even today, I'll invoke Ambedkar about what he meant when he said the cultivation of constitutional morality or cultivation of minds. Democracy and individual choice is not simply about making your own choices. It's also about understanding the process through which you're making those choices. It's also about understanding why you are making the choices that you're making, what you felt or what you thought that led you to making those choices, and why you felt and why you thought the things that you thought. What is that entire unconscious process that's, making you think things and feel things? It's about how much effort are you putting into understanding yourself, into understanding your own mechanism. How much effort is the citizenry putting into understanding that how are we reacting to the information that the external world is giving to us? How rationally do we see that information? It's about, that is this, this unconscious process of processing information that we're not aware of. Democracy is about making this process more and more conscious, because if we do not, if we are not conscious of this process, then there is no individual choice. If we are not conscious of this process, then in today's world of smartphones and mass media and internet, there will be no individual choice, and hence there will be no democracy. Today, the ideals and values of democracy, today, your freedom and my freedom stands on the very premise of understanding ourselves and understanding our psychological mechanisms. Ask yourself, why do you feel what you feel? Ask yourself, why do you think what you think? And ask yourself, why do you do what you do? Choice is paramount. Choice is fundamental. But what's more important is learning to make better choices.